I'm Dominic Fry, and thank you for tuning in to the monthly market update. I'm here today with Nick Moody, Auctioneer and Realtor with ERA, Geyer, and Noakes Realty Group here in Findlay, Ohio, to talk about the real estate market. You know, you read articles online, you watch videos, you get 1,000 different opinions that are all over the board. So I want to spend some time to talk to a local professional that knows that real estate market in and out and be able to get his expertise on what's going on. So Nick, thanks for your time and thanks for your joining today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for asking me.
Yeah. So first question, basic, how long have you been in the real estate business for, and kind of what was the initial draw? Like, how did you get introduced to it?
Yeah, I've been in the real estate business now for roughly 10 years. I got into it right out of high school, actually. Chose to go, right into real estate and the auctioneer business right out of high school rather than the college route. Was a little unsure at the time what I wanted to do when I graduated. And some good advice from my folks. They had kind of nudged me that way. And 10 years later, it's paid off and been a really good decision for me. So, but anyway, 10 years now, and like I said, realtor, auctioneer, selling everything from personal property to real estate at auction. Of course, the traditional real estate method, working with buyers, sellers, trying to advise people and treat them like family. So,
yeah, 10 years. Does it feel like that long? You know, like, does it feel like a decade? It feel shorter?
It doesn't.
Feel longer?
No, it doesn't. I was just thinking a couple of years ago how long I've been doing it, and I was thinking, I don't know, 6, 8. It doesn't seem like time flies, and it doesn't seem like it was 10 years. But
No.
I feel like also I haven't been out of high school for, I guess, 10, 11 years now too. So
Yeah, that's cool. I admire and think it's cool that, like, you know, rather than going the traditional route, going to college and you don't know what to do, you say, I'm going to get into a career, get into an industry, and you get plugged in. And obviously now, a decade later, you can see it paying dividends and the experience and how much you learned, I'm sure. But, you know, today with our generation, a lot of people just go to college not knowing what to do. You said, I'm just going to plug into an industry. If it works, great, awesome. If not, then potentially go a different route.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have no regrets for doing that. I mean, not having any sort of student loans to pay back and to have a career that I feel I can do for a long time is very rewarding and very excited about it. So.
Yeah. So I know from following you a little bit on social media, you talked a little bit about being a third generation realtor. So I guess, can you briefly kind of talk about that and how that has been involved, like, in your family through the generations?
Absolutely. So my grandpa had years ago sold a company in Tiffin, Ohio, and decided to kind of take a early retirement route, moving to Florida Keys and Key West, and had decided he also wanted kind of a part-time job, I believe, at that time, and got into real estate and really had some success with it. And for years and years, was one of the top salespeople and all of the Florida Keys, up and down the Keys, from really Key West to Miami, and then ended up buying the real estate brokerage that he worked at, and then had more of a broker ownership role, working with some of the agents that were underneath him. And then a few years after that, decided to sell the brokerage. So at the time of being the broker, my dad actually had worked there as well as a realtor and a salesperson. And so, yeah, they liked it. And of course, my parents, over the years here in Findlay and in Hancock County, had gotten into the real estate and from leasing property to just different aspects of owning real estate, and had really highly suggested that they check that out. And again, it was, let's face it, as a high school kid, you're maybe not the most wise at the time. That was a great piece of advice from them, and very happy that they advised me to do that. And so yeah, that's kind of how that's worked out. So
That's cool. That's awesome to hear. And I'm sure, especially with it being generational and your family being involved, I'm sure there's probably so many aspects of real estate that you probably consider as just like common knowledge, and potentially you maybe see with your clients, but probably isn't common knowledge.
mm-hmm.
You know, like, I mean, I'm not in real estate, so I can't really think of any examples, but, like, I'm sure, like, just from the generational aspect and, you know, your dad, your grandpa, and just like growing up in that kind of environment with real estate,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm sure helps a lot, even with the 10 years of experience that you do have as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can remember being a little kid and my parents always talking about, certain names of people they would use for services in real estate, handyman people and HVAC folks and things like that. And a lot of those people we still have relationships with today, and I use and call and speak to quite a bit. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of different aspects of that when I grew up, they would talk about things that just to me, it is what it is. I just knew what it was at a young age. A lot of people probably wouldn't quite understand if you didn't kind of grow up in that setting. So
That's cool. So let's shift gears a little bit then. Talk a little bit about ERA, Geyer, Noakes, and the team that you have here. I mean, I know that you guys are involved. Can you maybe explain a little bit? How are you involved in the community? Whether it's you personally or the team, how are you involved with the community, and what are different ways that you guys give back?
yeah. So again, I sell for ERA Geyer Noakes Realty Group. That's where we're doing our video at here. And so ERA has 3 branches. We're here in Findlay, Ohio, obviously. We do have a branch in Ottawa, Ohio, and then also in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Um, I would have to check, but I'm guessing that we have it, fluctuates somewhere between 30, 32 agents in our Findlay office right now, something like that. We've been around for years, and we really try to take community involvement very serious from different functions that we've done, Halloween parade, and I know we have breakfast with Santa coming up actually this Sunday if anyone's available. Would love to see you guys. We're going to be at the Hancock County Fairgrounds from 9 to noon. Of course, it's all free to anybody that wants to come. We'll have a good hot breakfast, pancakes, hot chocolate, sounds like some donuts as well. And then, of course, pictures with Santa for I guess whoever, the kids, mom and dad, whoever, more than happy to get your pictures with Santa. So do like to do that. Again, probably just like Dominic, we we know there's a lot of different choices and decisions you have when it comes to picking a realtor or a brokerage to work with. So we really want to do our part to have involvement with the community and not just not we want to be on first name basis with everyone and look at you guys as friends and family. So
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, you'll have to this Sunday at 9 to 12 fairgrounds for the breakfast with Santa.
mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So let's kind of transition then a little bit then into the market today. I kind of started the video. If you Google real estate market right now, like I said, you're going to get 1,000 different opinions. So what, from a high level point of view, I guess, what does the real estate market look like today in Findlay, Hancock County, and potentially how does that compare to years past at this time?
Yeah, so I did a search this morning prior to you coming in here, Dominic. There are 78 available properties in all of Hancock County as of this morning. That is higher than it has been really the last year or two. I know for a while we were down 30, 40 houses, something like that. Again, we're at 78 right now, so you're seeing a few more houses sit on the market than what we've seen the past couple of years. Interest rates as of this morning were 6.8%. Just kind of an average at 6.8%, talking to a local credible lender here. Like you said, you're going to get a lot of different opinions from where we're at market wide. Mine personally would be, it's a great time to buy. I mean, there's rates are a little higher, but we're starting to see houses sit on the market for a little bit longer. We're seeing things that we haven't seen the past couple of years. You're starting to see open houses again pop up, which you didn't see the past few years. You're seeing price reductions. You're seeing a lot of sellers offering home warranties. And I think it's no secret that the buyers definitely the last 6 months or so have kind of gotten a lot more leverage and better buying power. And they, if they're being advised by their agent, should realize that as well. So yeah, I would say it's a great time to buy right now. And it still is also a great time to sell. I mean, historically, these numbers are low. It's still, I guess you could say it's a housing shortage right now. There's not tons of homes for sale, but it's definitely not the rush or the chaos that it's been the last 2 or 3 years with the multiple offers, the offers over asking price, and the frenzy that it has been. So, but still a good time to sell. And again, historically, these interest rates are still pretty low. I mean, I remember from my parents told me that they had, I think, a 12 or a 13% interest rate when they bought their first house. And I know my grandpa years ago said when he was selling, it was, I think, right around 20%, a 20% interest rate. So it's 6.8. I know it seems like the world and the sky is falling down, but historically they're still pretty low. So
yeah, awesome. No, that's great advice. Good to know. And kind of like you mentioned there, that for a couple of years, it was very much so on siding with the sellers, and it was just properties flying off the market. And now things kind of balancing a little bit more out. That those buyers do have a little bit more power and a little more leverage than they did before. And working with an agent can kind of help them guide through that process of, reasonable offers and, trying to get the best house for them. So my hypothetical question for you then is, what would you say to, if there's an individual, a couple, a situation that they maybe are looking for their next home, maybe a small family that is looking to upgrade, looking for a larger home at this time, what would be your advice to them? And maybe they have hesitation with the interest rate, that comparatively speaking, we went from that 3%-ish to about 7%-ish. So what would you say in that situation, someone that maybe is hesitant to get into the market due to the interest rate increase in the short term?
One of the things I always tell people is date the rate and marry the house, meaning you can always refinance. You get a rate that's a little higher than what you want, you can always refinance down the road. If that perfect house comes available, or if you're in a situation where you need a bigger house, more square footage, you're going out in the country, whatever, like I said, life happens, and you always have to try to take care of your needs best in a house. And like I said, date the rate, marry the house. And if you need a new house, like I said, you can always refinance it. It's time to go. And I would say to do that, and then also pick a realtor that you trust, that you think is genuinely looking out for your best interests, that isn't just trying to make a quick sale and forget about you, and find someone who's really going to do a good job, who is knowledgeable in the market, and going to treat you like a friend and be there for you. So
awesome. Great piece of advice. Appreciate that, Nick. So as we kind of wrap up here then, if someone wants to, if they have questions on real estate, want to reach out to you, what is the best way to get a hold of you? Is it social media, phone number, email? What's the best way to get in contact with you, Nick?
Yeah, yep, great question. Best way I would say is my phone number, to call me or text me. My phone number is 419-348-6321. Talk on the phone, text, whatever, any form. You can send me a message on Messenger. I'll try to respond to that as quickly as possible. Social media, I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Any form of that, I'm on quite frequently, and we'll always try to take a good peek at answering any messages that I might have. So
okay, sounds good. Well, there you have it. You have his phone number, social media. If you want to see him even short term, you can see him this Sunday at the fairground for that breakfast with Santa. But thanks again for your time, Nick, and thanks for the advice been able to provide today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.